past week had blown by for Mia. Her and Akemi had been all over the Greater Manchester area seeing the sights. Mia felt like a tourist in the country she had come to call home. She was seeing things afresh through her sister's eyes. For Akemi, this was a head trip. England was very different from Japan. She saw people as being far less conservative here. She also felt there was a dangerous and aggressive flavour to Manchester, which excited her senses. Mia was not short of cash, and so treated Akemi to some fancy eating about town, as well as a few trips to the cinema. For Mia, her sister seemed childlike in this new social environment, which kind of put her in a protective mindset. Despite this, she was having lots of fun, out and about with the love of her life, beautiful, sweet Akemi. Mia had decided to work evenings at Hazel's between 7 and 11 at night. She could squeeze in 5 clients maximum per shift, which wasn't a problem really. Mia's sex drive was very high, as if she was still a teenager. She viewed this as a sign of good health. As part of the arrangement, Hazel was doing her business in the middle of the day, when Mia was out gallivanting with her sister. Hazel would stay in most nights while Mia was plying her trade, locked in her room, smoking pot, listening to emo music, and feeling somewhat jealous of Akemi, who had taken most of Mia's focus and energy this week. The jealousy was mixed in with feelings of guilt. Hazel had met Akemi now a couple of times and found her to be a sweet and shy lady who was a little nervous about meeting new people perhaps. Hazel liked listening to Mia go to work on a client, especially if he was a newbie being penetrated for the first time. Some guys would make a lot of noise. Some would actually cry at first in pain, then in ecstasy as they relaxed into it. Hazel was around at Leanne's house, a fellow sex worker, to catch up on the latest gossip and happenings at the end of the week. She was taken aback and more than a bit worried by the latest developments. It seemed Assumpta had allowed her paranoia to turn to violence. Word on the street had it that she had smashed a wine bottle over Terry's head, knocking her out cold. Then, when she came around, Assumpta apparently tied her up and slapped her around, something fierce. Why she had attacked her supposed friend and ally was the subject of much speculation. Leanne had heard that Assumpta had gotten it into her head that Terry had turned against her and was going around encouraging the local whores to go to the cops and tell all kinds of nasty stories about her. She had been betrayed, and this was about revenge, plain and simple. Hazel knew Leanne had gotten her information through the usual channels, so she took this to be true, most likely. Later on, Hazel told the account to Mia, who was surprised and disturbed by this news. Would Assumpta be coming for us any time soon? Wondered Mia and Hazel. They hadn't actually done anything to incur Assumpta's rage, but did that really matter? Paranoid people act irrationally. The two friends resolved to be on their guard in the coming days. For James, things had gotten bad. He was surely close to bottom. He had gone back to work, but his performances and appearance had drastically deteriorated. His employees and the customers could see this large negative change in him laid bare. Area manager Neil Chadwick had to give him a final written warning, which he felt genuinely bad about, but business was business, and this I couldn't give a fuck attitude from James couldn't be tolerated any longer. Chadwick pleaded with him to pull it together at the end of Monday's shift. James sat at home that night, ignoring phone calls and messages as he did. But it was on this night he resisted the strong urge to hit the bottle. He knew a big change was needed in his life. He had to turn it around. The drink had to go. He had to be sober and focus on the prime cause of his pain and problems, namely Mia. He had to let her know his true feelings. If she shot him down, then she was a bitch, a cold-hearted whore, but at least he would know where he stood. But she surely wouldn't shoot him down. She loved me. She loved me, James told himself. He would do what he had to do.